View crew, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to phase 2 of A Certain Point of View. It is a Monday evening here. We got the whole crew. We are back. It's been a 2-week break, but we are very excited as we are getting into a new era of POV here on the channel and talking nothing Schmoedown ever again. Again.
Mm-hmm.
It is not happening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great out there. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone in the chat. A lot of cool topics we have to talk about tonight. Some fun ones that get people very excited. Some others that probably can get some people very heated. It'll be very fun. It'll be very interesting. And we love hearing from you guys in the chat. We're also going to do a little bit of a kind of maybe not quick, but Q&A towards the end of the show about phase 2, questions from you guys, things that you may have for us. And if you're watching back on the playback, you're more than welcome to leave comments in the chat or in the section, that we can reply to. So thank you all for joining us. Let's go around and see how everybody is doing. Jill, I'll start with you. How was your weekend?
Long. A long weekend. Very long weekend. We went and saw My Chemical Romance on Friday. That was a lot of fun.
True.
Love it. That was fun. Gerard Way is like amazing live. Like they sound exactly like they do on like their albums, which is very sometimes hard to come by with bands, and so that was really nice. That was fun. And then on Saturday we had a wedding up in Paso, which is up in wine country, which is about 4 hours away from where we live. And I didn't want to spend money for a hotel, so we drove 4 hours up and 4 hours back.
That's a long trip on a wedding day.
Yeah, so it was a long day.
I mean, was the wedding worth it?
It was nice. It was a nice wedding.
That's a lie.
It was nice.
How high your voice went. It's like,
It was nice. It was nice.
It's great.
There was only beer and wine.
I
Which,
get
you were
it.
driving
you have to pay a
home.
lot. You have to.
I know.
pay a
I was
lot
driving
more.
home, so like I couldn't really drink a lot anyway. But like, the food was really good. The venue was gorgeous. The bride was gorgeous. But yeah, it was still a long drive for me. So that was my main thought of, oh my gosh, I'm driving so far.
At
We
least,
did it. We made it.
Sean said, you got a shady table.
Well, yeah, we got.
Didn't have to bring that up.
We were right in the shade, and Sean decided to be Sean and text the group. That's just gonna be an inside joke for the history of eternity.
I'll
That was
resend all
that was a
invitations to
shady
family
text.
events going forward.
No, we still haven't been to the cabin in Tahoe.
All invitations have officially been rescinded.
No,
All of them.
Tahoe.
Blame Sean. Always blame Sean.
We want to go Tahoe. No. Yeah, that was it. We've been very busy. And I feel like Sunday was like a lazy day, but I was so tired from like the weekend. I felt like I didn't really rest. I was just like, so I'm taking Friday off from work because I want to take Friday off from work. So I'm going to do that and maybe watch some spooky movies. Andy, no, I still want to do the Tahoes. We need to do the Tahoes. The Tahoes and Tahoe.
I'll find new friends to go with.
Ah! How dare you? And then today I got
Look
a
how
paper
easy
cut.
I'll make them sit in the shade, not the sun.
and then I got a paper cut right between my finger.
Oh God!
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, don't say that.
So I got a Band-Aid.
That's like legit the worst two fingers to get a paper
Yeah.
cut between two. Your index and your middle. Like that's worse. That's no.
Yikes.
No.
So happy Monday to me.
You didn't have to share that, Jill, but that's okay.
I did anyway. Hooray.
That's gross. That's gross. Brian, how you doing, man?
Good. Joe, I got a blister from gardening.
Oh, let's compare
Aw.
injuries.
Are we
What else did everyone
comparing-
get?
Non-mortal wounds.
What is happening right now?
I don't have
I
any
know.
fresh wounds.
No. So yeah, that's about the.
Is that all, Brian?
Yeah.
Brian's been gardening very hard.
Brian's been gardening. Brian, what have you been gardening?
No, my mom. Not so much gardening. My mom. We have like a dirt pit kind of in the back in my mom's backyard.
So a garden.
And no. There's no like nothing in it. It's just literally dirt. And she just needed to like retarp it and stuff. So, of course, guess who gets stuck doing it? So, yeah, just did that all day yesterday. So fun. Love manual labor.
Woo.
It's the
I
best.
just realized I do have
No.
a blister from making my little spooky ghost.
Those were so
Things.
cute. Your little ghosties. I
My
love
little
them. They're so cute. I love them.
I had to cut a lot of cheesecloth though. So
Cheese clock. I was like, wait, what are you talking
Cheesecloth.
about?
Cheesecloth.
Yeah.
Molly, how was your weekend?
It was good. So our 10-year wedding anniversary was last week.
Yay!
You guys look like babies in those photos. We
was
little
just-
babies.
Like a whole lifetime ago. We were so young and clueless back then, but
We little
because
babies.
our anniversary was on a Wednesday, we were just covering Andor stuff all day, so we waited to celebrate till Friday. So we went out to a fancy restaurant and ate a bunch of fancy dishes. I had antelope.
I was gonna say, how does one eat antler?
I was like,
Not
what?
antler. Not antler.
Funny how
Antelope,
one eats antler.
which was actually pretty good. I also had
good.
boiled peanut ice cream,
Oh,
Boiled peanut
Which-
ice cream?
just kind of tastes like peanut ice cream, but a little salty.
Huh.
that sounds good.
Yeah,
But-
no, I'm good. What's the point of that? Boiled
That's funny
peanut?
because I just
It was like a whole tiny meal that was like super southern things. So it was like a Coca-Cola baked brownie with
Ooh.
boiled peanut ice cream.
Okay,
on
now I'm
top.
sold. The brownie part sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very funny that you are bringing this up because I literally just saw a TikTok today of this woman. I don't know how I found myself on Crockpot TikTok.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
on Crockpot TikTok.
And she made boiled peanuts, and I was like, "What is the point? Like, I don't get it. Like, you spend like 8 hours boiling peanuts and stuff, and all you're doing is just still eating the little nut inside."
It's
Like-
so good though, because like you kind of it like soaks in salt
That's what I
too.
thought.
was Billy serving?
I know. That's what I literally thought.
He was
Uh,
serving me.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get. I have heard also came across peanuts and Coke,
Mm-hmm.
glass Coke. I don't know.
That I don't
I've
know
seen that.
about.
Put peanuts in like the bottom of a glass and then
Yeah,
pour
you
it.
put
Yeah, and then
peanuts
put
in
Coke.
a glass bottle, regular Coke. It's
Mhm.
supposed to give you like salty and sweet.
Salty
I
and
guess.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
best
don't
of
know.
both worlds.
But yeah, so anniversary stuff. Saturday, we did a bunch of random stuff. Went to the dog park, and then last night we had a spooky movie night because we have a big inflatable projector screen that we put out in our backyard and watched spooky movies.
That looks so
That's
fun.
awesome. That's awesome. What was the best movie that you watched?
So we watched Host, we watched the original Hellraiser, and then we watched Deadstream, which is a movie on Shudder about a YouTuber.
Nice.
Very fitting. I liked Host the most because it was like the scariest and surprised me a lot, but Deadstream is a fun one if you're looking for like kind of campy,
I love
kind
camp.
of like Evil Dead type comedy, but also horror.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's speaking of, that is something else I wanted to talk about, and I forgot to put on my list. Did you guys see the trailer for Megan?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Only James Wan we trust.
We bow down to one James Wan when it comes to horror in this household, and I am so
He's
ready.
just doing Malignant all over again on a higher
and
level.
sign
That's all
me
he's
the
doing.
fuck up.
That's
Sign
all he's
me
doing.
up for another.
I've heard
Malignant.
about this, but I have known nothing about it.
Oh my god,
Oh my
Brian!
That's
God,
all he's
watch the
doing.
You
trailer.
need to watch the trailer. It is
Oh God.
so good. This
The-
is going to be the new Malignant, and my body is ready for it. So
The improv show that we went to Saturday night, the show was like they play 3 movie trailers and the audience picks which one they want to recreate, and we picked Megan. So like they
Yes.
showed the trailer and then everyone on stage had to basically perform the movie, having not like none of them had seen
Love
the trailer before. It was
It's
so
when
good.
she starts doing like a TikTok dance in the middle of trying to kill somebody, and I'm like, fucking sold. Brian, you need to watch this trailer. It's
Interesting.
so good. You need to watch this trailer. It's James Wan, okay? He's like the new master of horror. I will be first in line to watch this movie. I'm so freaking
I mean,
Interesting.
he's been a pretty decent master of horror for a while.
for like a decade now. Yeah.
Also, he's my best friend because he commented on my Instagram post. So
He did.
He retweeted me. No, whatever.
All right, well let's get this train rolling because we do have a couple things to discuss. First off, I want to say for the first time in I don't know how long, we have 2 moderators in our chat tonight.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we had to get rid of the Schmoedown for it to happen, but Chuck and Brandy are here. Thank you guys. Among many other greats. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. We have a couple things to talk about tonight, so we're going to talk about Blink-182 right now. Not sure how long this topic will take, but I know the girls are very, very excited to discuss this one. And then we're going to get into some Andor and She-Hulk. Not so much reviewing the show, talking about something specific that is going on with both of those shows. And then we'll get into the Q&A towards the end. So if you guys have questions for us regarding kind of what's going to be happening here on the channel or on the Patreon, send in those questions. I'll start starring a bunch on our StreamYard here, and we'll ask those towards the end, or you can just wait until the end to ask those. So totally up to you. All right, let's get into Blink-182. So I think it was last week, right? This happened last week because I was on a different planet last week. I was gone for last week.
Yeah,
so time is like mixing.
Nola, you were getting too busy with ghosties.
Yeah, I was in the New Orleans.
Nolans.
They're back. Blink-182 is making its return.
With Tom.
With Tom. Jill, Molly, I'll let you guys you take the floor with this one. I'll interject because I do love Blink-182. But you two take the floor. Start this off. What's going on with all this?
I mean, this was big for us in our household because I mean, Sean more so is very much like that's like the music he grew up with was like that, that kind of stuff. Good God. Him at the My Chem concert, he is such a show snob. I swear to God. But because he used to do that for a living. He used to,
that checks out. Yeah.
So when I heard the announcement that Blink was back, I was like, oh, rad. And then with Tom, and that stunned me because I thought he was so far gone with his I'm researching aliens and UFOs for him to want to come back to Blink-182. That is a lot of blinking. What is my age again? Blink-182 is what's funny though is that they never really broke because Blink was still releasing kind of songs like every couple years, even without Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Unpopular opinion, or maybe a popular opinion. I like Mark's singing better than Tom's. I prefer Mark Hoppus than I do Tom DeLonge, but that's just me. But my Facebook specifically, because a lot of my high school friends and my elementary school friends were all about Blink-182, was them freaking out about the tickets, only for them to see that tickets were going for the top bloody nosebleed seats. We're going for the low price of $500. So say it ain't so. I will not be going to Blink-182 when they.
Is this just a pun segment? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the new segment of the show. We're gonna make a segment that's just about puns.
We can't just leave all those on the table. We gotta.
But I mean, but it's one of those. I think it's we're getting so in entertainment as a whole, we're getting so many of these reboots and these comebacks. We got My Chem they're supposed to come back 2 years ago, and then pandemic happened, and then now they're finally doing their shows, and we're getting a bunch of reboots in movies and television, and music's doing the same thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more, reunion stuff. I mean, they're probably too cool, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a one-off NSYNC residency in Vegas.
No way.
It could happen.
Make it happen.
No
It could happen. You never know.
That might actually drag me out of my house. I don't know.
NSYNC. See, I was a Backstreet Boys girl, so like
No,
they just did a
NSYNC.
residency, so I can
NSYNC.
easily go see them. But
I just looked up the tickets in Sacramento. We're not reselling them here because they're only $140.
oh, okay, that's not bad.
Dang.
So if you want to come up here,
So
That's not
for me, I wasn't actually like super phased by the announcement because like I like Blink 182. I don't know their music that well. Like I feel like I listen to mostly just the hit songs.
same.
But it's always exciting, and I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense because of the When We Were Young concert being
And they're
announced.
headlining next year's When We Were Young. Blink
Yes.
is.
So, and I mean, easy way to sell ridiculously priced tickets is to feed on people's nostalgia a little bit.
Oh, a little bit.
Nostalgia is $1 billion industry.
That's for damn sure. That's for
It
damn
just
sure.
feels like it's happening more and more these days too.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, like I guess it's more
Don't
so
get me
like
started.
it's more so like our generation of stuff is kind of like coming back 20 years later.
You want
or
to know the
so, however
sad
long.
reason why?
Because we
It's
were the
'cause-
fun generation.
It's because
Nothing else is good.
It's because we were never gifted the adulthood we were promised as children.
Okay, that's fair.
So now we're also as millennials.
Proud millennials.
How many are you?
Wait.
You're a millennial, Mom.
I was gonna say, are
think
you
so.
and I millennial?
Yes,
Yes, you guys are. Yes.
Chris
I don't know
Evans
what
is a
the
millennial, so
cutoff
you
is.
guys.
Yeah, the millennials I think is like early 80s or something. Yeah.
That's loud.
You guys are
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Continue.
It's
good.
how
You guys aren't that
many
old.
how many once in a lifetime events have we been through in our lives?
Too many.
Too many to count.
One every year.
81 to 96 is millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 81. There you
So
go.
so we've been through so many once in a lifetime events. We've been through so many like we didn't get the adulthood we were promised. So now anything nostalgia and childhood, we're like, give it to me because I need that happiness back in my life when things were innocent and good. Because we don't have that anymore. So
Mhm.
that's why we're getting our
It's-
generation specifically.
Oh,
is
hi,
getting
Chi.
a lot of these.
It's so funny that in every medium that we have, as far as entertainment goes, whether it be film, television, comic books, whatever, our like legit our childhood or things that we watched or experienced as kids, they're all coming back around in some form. We have like this happened a few years ago, but obviously the last Harry Potter book that was released. Then you have the Hunger Games books that are coming out again. Things like TV shows like Cobra Kai is feeding off of what Karate Kid did. It's all just everything is coming, and now music is kind of making its way back around now too. I'm juiced about the Blink 182. Like I listen to them; they're part of my songs. They're part of my album. I'm not a huge music head. I think I've said it here before. I listen to stuff, but I listen to kind of the same thing over and over again when I do listen to music. So I'm interested. Yeah, like if Linkin, obviously Linkin Park wouldn't be the same if it ended up coming back for something different. But like if NSYNC came back, I'd probably be way more juiced than I would be for Blink 182 because that's what I listened to as a kid mainly.
I feel like millennials specifically, and maybe other generations too, but like the way that trends happen nowadays, it's like a lot quicker to get out into the general public with social media and TikTok and stuff. So I think for millennials to be seeing so many 90s and 2000s stuff coming back so quickly, it's just like I'm not prepared for this. Like I could go into my closet and find like a pair of those like flare legging pants, which were like really big in the early 2000s, and then it was all about straight legs, skinny jeans stuff. And now the flares are back.
Didn't we talk about this? When are Uggs coming back?
Oh, I will always wear my Uggs.
Wait, Uggs. Wait,
I'm sorry.
Wait, did Uggs ever disappear?
My feet are always cold, so
I feel like Uggs are always everywhere.
Uggs weren't like Uggs. Like it was like Uggs and shorts with a scarf was like the thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't like dress mine up like that. Like I'm
That was the thing to do. And so like maybe that'll come back. Like maybe that'll just be like an accessory again, you know?
Yeah. Mine, I go full bum mode. So like I'm just
there's
wearing
definitely
Uggs with my sweatpants.
there's definitely things that shouldn't come back though. Like that's a whole other conversation in itself, you know, whether it be clothing or movies or whatever it may be.
I don't know, man. I think that purple Heinz ketchup should definitely make a comeback. I don't know about you.
You remember when there was like 4 million freaking Mountain Dew flavors?
Yeah, they come out with a new one like every month.
They're
I
doing
know.
mystery flavors now, which is like
Ugh.
that's a chance I'm not willing to take. Mountain Dew.
You know how many people probably actually take that chance though? Like
Oh,
how
a
many
lot.
people, like if they're able to actually push that out there. Yeah.
Is there? I'm curious. Is there any concerts that like, if they did a reunion tour, like you're absolutely finding yourself at no matter what?
I would say Backstreet Boys, but I didn't go to their show. I didn't have any money.
Destiny's Child.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Destiny's Child and In Vogue. I don't know what the members of In Vogue are doing nowadays, but those are my two.
They wouldn't be like I said, it wouldn't be the same, but Linkin Park, even without Chester, just because seeing them, they're one of my all-time favorite, if not my all-time favorite. NSYNC, I said it. I wouldn't choose this personally, and I know they did this a few years ago, but if the Jonas Brothers came back together and did something else,
they just did.
I know,
Gabby.
I
went to
know.
it.
I just said they just did it. I'm saying I wouldn't find myself there, but I'd be dragged by Gabby. That's
You know what I would see if she were to do a whole concert as her other persona? Sign me up for a fucking Hannah Montana concert.
Hannah Montana.
Oh my god.
Could
But
you imagine this version of Hannah Montana?
But it has to be Hannah Montana, and she has to sing her songs in the blonde wig. Sign me up. I would be there in a freaking heartbeat. If she was like, if Miley was like, I'm doing the Hannah Montana meet Miley Cyrus concert where it's both Hannah and Miley, sign me up. I'd be there.
That would
so
actually be
fast.
really intriguing.
I'd be there so fast.
So many people would be there so fast.
Oh,
I've never seen a Hannah Montana. I don't.
Oh, I watched.
I know what
every
it
episode of
is,
that
but
show.
I've never seen a Hannah
I
Montana.
watched every episode of that show.
Everybody makes
Every
mistakes.
damn episode.
Everybody
I was a
makes
Disney
mistakes.
child, so I watched all
Everybody
that stuff.
knows what I'm talking about.
I think my two. Well, one I would want to go with my sister. I would definitely.
God knows what's up.
Yeah.
Sounds like it would be the best of both worlds.
Nostalgia. If I wanted to go with my sister, I would definitely want to do Spice Girls. I think that would be
Yes.
ridiculously fun.
Do you
And
know
then-
how expensive those tickets would be?
Oh, that's
God.
why it would probably never
I
happen.
mean, they did do a reunion tour not too long ago.
Yeah, they did. My sister
Yeah.
went.
But it was
And
all
if you
five of
guys
them?
watch Dairy Girls, there's
There's
a
all
great
5 of 'em.
episode where they do a performance for like a talent show as the Spice Girls.
I liked their opener for the London Olympics. That was
I would say them, and for me personally, I would kill to see the All American Rejects.
Oh, I saw
Those
they
are
opened
good.
for Fall Out Boy once, and they were so good.
I would kill to see them. They would be someone I've seriously considered that going to that Las Vegas thing just because of them.
When we were young.
Yeah.
Billy's got an interesting one here. What if they brought back the High School Musical crew?
Yes.
Zac Efron.
Never
would
seen
be
a
there.
single episode.
Movie. Mom.
Movie.
Never seen a single movie.
I went and saw.
Now episodes, but movie.
I
Yeah,
was
now,
gonna say,
now they're
there's-
episodes. Yeah,
there's
the
a show
show
now.
is the show is now. Yeah,
High School Musical, the musical, the series.
I went and saw, which
Actually, pretty
almost-
good.
which is almost kind of like, like not creepy, but like weird to think about. I saw Glee when they were touring,
Oh, good
like the
lord.
cast of Glee, and now like it's looking back at it with all the shit. It's like, ooh, that was an interesting thing
That was
to
a
go
choice.
spend money on.
I'm
You
kind of
see that they're
afraid.
doing a documentary on it.
Oh,
It's like a
God.
3-part like investigation of like stuff. It's gonna be
A 3-part investigation. What? Into
No,
who's
of,
fucking
like,
lead or not?
just-
What's the investigation on?
No, I hope to God if someone can confirm that to me. I truly think she can't read. No, just all the like bad shit that went on, like problems that show had.
Because she was a capital B.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you also had a guy like a drug addict. You also had a freaking like child porn guy doing like that show was wild.
God.
So yeah.
Ugh.
I didn't watch Glee either.
I didn't either.
Me
Proud of
neither.
myself.
No,
Proud of
none
myself
of
for
that.
saying that too.
None of that crap.
No.
All right, are we good on the nostalgia concert kick? Should we move on, or we got any final words? Good.
I'm good.
Nostalgia.
All right, let's get into.
Did anyone actually try to go to the Blink one, like get tickets for it?
Oh yeah, did anyone actually get tickets
For Blink?
No,
Yeah,
No.
like or is anyone trying
Absolutely.
to go to
I
it?
didn't even try.
I was gone. So,
I got
We
a
did-
wedding. I got to pay for.
We did try to get the
Jill,
next
isn't that the
week.
greatest excuse in the world?
It is.
Letting you pay for
It is the great. Yeah, we tried.
It's
Molly
the
and I tried to
greatest
get.
excuse.
Molly and I tried to get when we were young tickets for next year, but
They just like I don't know if it's just the pre-sale or if like all of the tickets forever are sold
No,
out now.
it was the same as last year where they sold out of all the tickets during pre-sale. So,
I mean, I'm sure they'll pop up on eBay and stuff from like scalpers,
well,
but like
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit. Get back to some television. We're going to talk about Andor and She-Hulk. The two might bleed into one another. We can start with Andor and then kind of talk a little bit about She-Hulk, but again, they can kind of be the same conversation. Just a little bit of toxicity revolving around these two shows going on right now. It seems like even if something is good, there's still hate, and vice versa. Obviously, we clearly know what She-Hulk is going through or was going through now that the show is over, about being a female lead and the show's direction and kind of how it handled things and whatnot, and just all that. We're basically talking about trolls online. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the trolls online. Does anybody want to kick this off? Does anybody want to start with one specific show? Or Brian, go ahead.
I finally realized what is going on with Marvel. To me, this is so much. You remember when Star Wars isn't for girls? That's what this is.
long time ago, maybe. Yeah.
I remember it was, it used to Star Wars is for boys. Girls can't like Star Wars. Now we're in Marvel's for boys. Girls can't like Marvel.
In
And-
2022.
Yeah, that's what this is. I don't remember. I was sitting there probably on Twitter looking at something when it made me realize I was like, this is exactly like that. Like this is, I mean, obviously a more, I mean, at the time when Star Wars is for boys, not girls, like we didn't have like Twitter and stuff like that.
I think more so than Star Wars is for boys. It was like Star Wars is for nerds.
Yeah.
And specifically nerdy boys. But now that it's like mainstream and cool, people just lose their minds.
Yeah.
There was a post I saw on Twitter. I don't remember if I retweeted it or not, but it was a girl that was like, I remember back in the day I used to love, like when I was younger, I used to love, Star Wars, Star Trek. I played D&D. I loved World of Warcraft. And boys would always say stuff like whenever I said I would like it, they would start giving me 20 questions on it, trying to prove that I liked it. So it wasn't that now females are starting to like this stuff. We always have. You guys just made it so we didn't want to be a part of the discussion with you. That was a big thing that I saw. And now that it's becoming like, they're especially, I mean, with She-Hulk and with Captain Marvel, they're trying to push, and Wonder Woman, obviously, they're trying to push women more at the forefront of stuff. Black Widow is another example. But notice how every time it's a female lead,
They just can't handle it. Sometimes, it's just too much for some people.
It's both sides too. It's and I don't know if we've seen one, but like a female lead show or movie that's considered bad or not received well, and then one that's considered extremely good or well done. You can kind of say like the spectrum, because She-Hulk, I personally really, really, really liked She-Hulk. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was unique and different compared to anything that Marvel has done, outside of a few things here and there. but for the majority of people, it probably wasn't received as well as something that Marvel typically does. And then the higher end of the spectrum is something like Wonder Woman, where that movie was received extremely well a few years ago.
The first one.
Yeah, and it was just
I
like
liked the
a
second
hit,
one better, but
and people loved it, and they just thought it was such a great start for everything. So those are kind of like the two ends of the spectrums. But no matter what,
Mhm.
there's always some kind of hate, whether it's good or bad. And it's like when it'll probably never stop. But when is the conversation going to stop? Like how long does this thing have to kind of go in a giant circle and continue? And what's
Yeah.
the point? Like ultimately, what's the point of all of it?
I will say because like obviously Star Wars is what I know better, but I have been seeing Dan Slott, which he wrote one of the runs of She-Hulk, like has been pretty vocal on Twitter specifically about people, like how much he hates seeing the hate that the show is getting, and like people saying, oh, it needs to be more like this person's run or this person's comic run. And he's like, this is perfection. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like coming from him,
yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's great to see people like that come out and speak against the haters, because he's like, yeah, no, this is exactly what I would have wanted to see. So
My thing is like, if you don't enjoy something, just be like, it wasn't for me. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like, but it becomes this
It's
whole
honestly
like,
not that hard.
it's really not that hard at all. Or it's like people will say how they like it, and people feel like that's an invitation for them to go in their comments and dunk on you for liking it. It's like, no, smack you across the head. Like,
Well, and that kind of flips to the other side of the conversation when it comes to Andor, is people are dunking on people who hate this show, because Andor is obviously widely received very well right now. People are loving it, but the people who really love it are like coming after the people who say that it might not be for them. And so it's just like,
or
Or
like
it's
dunking
like-
on other shows, like they're dunking on Obi-Wan because they like Andor. It's like, what? You can like Andor and not dunk on another show. Like, you don't have to do that.
yeah, it's crazy to see people, like fans of Star Wars in general, accuse other fans of being snobs because they like a particular Star War. Like, really, are we going to pull it apart that far to divide actual Star Wars fans?
Gatekeeping Star Wars.
To say that you're a snob because you think one show is better than the other, it's just, and like there's toxicity on both sides of it. There are people who are toxically against everything and kind of like hate everything, or find ways to hate everything and talk about it. And then there are people who will toxically defend everything for being the best. And it's like,
you're not going to convince other people. Like, if I say I don't like something, you're going, I like it because 9 out of 10 times you're not going to convince me to like it. So like, I don't like, I don't know. Or if you know, or if you like something and I dislike it, I'm not going to have a conversation with you to try and influence you to dislike something. It's like, why are you shouting at all these people about, I don't know.
It's like instead of people having diaries or live journals, we just have Twitter now. So instead of going onto your live journal and being like, I hated today's episode of She-Hulk, and then here's why. It's just like out open to the public now for like millions of people to see. So like everybody can like pick apart what you said about it at any time, and it's just ugh.
People thrive off that though. It's like their lifeblood.
Well, it's just funny because like, of course, the majority of people, they like to say if you don't like something, you're wrong, or if you like something, you're wrong. But those types of conversations, the nice ones where people are having a good conversation back and forth about whether or not they liked it, and here's why,
different.
and let's have a conversation. But what I'm saying is those types of conversations is what started all of this. The discourse and the YouTube shows and the review shows and all of that, like that's where, and then all of a sudden it just all flipped into this world of, if you don't like something, you suck and I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yeah. Like that's kind of the mentality that it's coming from now. And it's crazy. I mean, it's insane to think that the majority of people, if they like, for example, if someone tweets out that they didn't like episode 5 of Andor, there's someone out there in the universe that's going to reply to them and say, "You're stupid, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, go away." Like, it's insane to think about.
It's
just,
like
yeah.
the whole idea of being a bully has flipped. It used to be like, oh, you like Star Wars, what a nerd. And now it's like, oh, you didn't like this episode of Star Wars? You're tasteless and a disgusting human, and I never want to talk to you again. It's like, what?
This, and to Blunden's point, this stuff, I'm fine with that, like having different opinions and like talking about that. I mean, like, you know, I XYZ, blah blah blah. It's when people, for me anyway, it's when people come in unsolicited, uninvited, and it's like I said I liked something. I said this episode was great. Period. And that doesn't require a conversation about why you didn't like it. Like
it's just people that want to chime in and have their voices heard, whether or not it's, you know, sometimes it could be super rude comments, but yeah, no, I'm all about constructive criticism and like conversation over what we think worked or didn't work and why, and how it kind of plays out as a whole for the story. But there's just so many people out there that aren't willing to think about it that deeply. They're just like, you suck, Vader's the best.
I know, man, Maul's pretty great.
Only give me Vader at all times.
Vader and Anakin, that's all I care about.
And when you do it, Vader, it's always gonna be wrong.
I'm like, to be fair, I'm one of those people where it's like, I need a different story other than the Skywalker saga, but under my breath I'm going, give me more Anakin. But, you know, but
which we will get a little bit of in Tales of the Jedi.
We're gonna get a little bit more of Anakin.
I just found out that the guy that's voicing the Inquisitor is the voice of Mr. Krabs.
He does a lot of voiceover work. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know who it was. I literally just
was
like, it was like, voice of Mr. Krabs is the voice of this Inquisitor. I was like, sweet.
Who's Mr. Krabs?
He does it. Oh my god.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, from SpongeBob.
Oh Molly. Molly.
I'm the
I thought you meant
here.
who's Mr. Krabs, like the actor.
No, she's literally asking who
God.
Mr. Krabs is.
I haven't seen it.
Never seen an episode of SpongeBob.
That's a new phase 2.
That's
a new phase 2 addition to the Patreon. Molly's gonna react to SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is great.
That could be very boring. I don't know.
It could be.
You gotta catch me in the right mood.
There's some gems in SpongeBob. There's some gems.
There's some stuff.
Oh my god!
If you go back and watch it, you're like, how did that get into this?
Oh yeah, it gets dirty.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Any final thoughts on the toxicity revolving around these two shows and fandom in general? Either one. Maybe?
It will never stop. Just
no.
If you see it happening, leave it alone. For the most part, I mean, there are definitely instances where it's worthy to speak up against really toxic stuff, like racism and sexism and homophobia, all that stuff. But I find it best to just try not to get involved too deeply with the discourse.
The mute button's a powerful thing.
Oh, the amount
I have muted so many people on Twitter.
The amount of people I have muted and unfollowed in the span of like 2 months.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I do it almost daily on my account, on the main Star Wars Explained account. It's just a daily, like, okay, who am I gonna mute / block today?
Who's it gonna be? Who's the lucky winner?
All right. Well, before we move on to the kind of Q&A portion, and again, everybody watching, if you guys have questions about what we're going to be doing next, or maybe a recommendation of a show or something that you'd want us to watch or whatever, ask those questions now. I'm starring everything in the chat so we can get back to that. I have one so far from Jesse. Jesse, we're going to get to that in a little bit. And I want to bring up one quick thing, because I know this will get one of us here very excited. At least I think.
Brian Ward
This
said
was-
most of the people I follow are muted.
Love that. Love that.
This was brought to my attention today, and I saw this on Twitter. But Molly, did you know that they're making a Twister sequel?
What?
Interesting.
It's called Twisters.
Plural. Multiple twisters.
Who's in it? Are any of the original cast returning?
The main actress, I forget her name at the
Helen
moment.
Hunt?
Helen Hunt, and that's it. As far as
That's
I know.
it. Oh,
As
okay.
far as-
Well,
I
did you? Are you gonna tell her the plot?
I was gonna
Well, I
say
mean, I
something really. I was
yeah.
gonna say something really sad, but I'll refrain.
I don't know if I
I'm-
have the
I'm
plot.
going to
yet,
assume there's
Brian.
another Twister, and it's a big one.
Well, it's plural, so there will probably be twisters.
Two whole twisters.
Okay, here you go. Here you go.
Okay.
With the drama that focuses on the daughter she had with the character played by Bill Paxton, she has caught the storm chasing bug her parents had.
Oh, of course.
It's a
you
daughter
go.
story.
It's a
Yeah.
classic reboot, but honestly, I'm not mad about it. If they can do it right without disrespecting Bill Paxton,
And Philip Seymour Hoffman.
yes,
And Philip
Chuck.
Seymour Hoffman.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman, like
Yeah.
those two actors were too good for us when they were here, and now that they're gone, it's like I don't know. But
Yeah.
I
As
think
RD
there's been
says, cinema will rise again.
It's the whole nostalgia reboot nostalgia thing. We're back to the nostalgia thing. Look, Twister.
Yeah.
Look, Twister.
yeah. I mean, even I don't know when was the original twist or the one and only Twister?
96, I think. 98, one or the other.
Okay, so it's
1996.
been
Two Twister, two Furious.
it's been
Oh my god. The Twister awakens.
Twister 2, too twisty.
I will try to have an open mind about this some so-called sequel / reboot.
Here's a fun question just regarding it. Which animal will fly through the Twister this time?
Oh, it's gonna be another cow.
You think it's gonna be a cow?
It'll be a cow.
I think it might be a horse.
They'll do cow and it's two. It's the second one. They gotta do two animals. It's gonna be a cow and a horse.
No,
It'll probably
it'll
be
be-
multiple cows.
Two cows.
2 cows.
It'll be
cows.
someone trying to film a TikTok. It'll be a
Oh
person.
my god.
Influencer.
God.
And then someone finds the phone
An
and that video goes viral. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
an
Wow.
influencer.
We just wrote a movie, guys. Let's get a producer up here. Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's get this made. Twister 2, where a TikToker gets sucked into a twister.
For everyone saying that they've never seen Twister, if you join our Patreon, we did a watch along to Twister.
Oh boy.
did.
It's on there. It is on there.
Oh my god,
I
I
had
love
that.
I like that pick personally. An alligator would be good.
Maddie
Mm.
Gunner, are they gonna promote it as Twister with the two?
Oh please.
Okay,
no.
that I'm okay
Please.
with.
No,
I do like that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
It's my
hashtag
seal of
God.
approval.
I like that.
100%.
I like that.
100%.
I like that.
Oh my goodness. All right,
Very
one last thing before we get on to the Q&A portion of the show. This was talked about a little bit earlier, and I just want to get you guys' opinions on it. But apparently, after almost a decade, Man of Steel 2 is in the works from Warner Brothers. Apparently, Warner Brothers has put it as a top priority to make sure that Henry Cavill returns as Superman, and they are currently hunting for writers. There's no official word on when or if this is actually going to happen, but apparently they're looking for writers to write a film, and it's one of their top priorities to get him back as the character. Thoughts, ladies and gent, on this possibly happening?
I have so many thoughts just on the DCEU in general.
Same, Jill. Let's break it down.
I like they have because like here they also announced that James Gunn is apparently going to do
A mystery
some-
film. He has
some
some
more
project, yeah.
movies with DC, which
Mhm.
they should have had him there from the beginning, because I think whatever James Gunn touches turns to gold, in my personal opinion. They're just I like there's films that I like in the DCEU. I love Birds of Prey.
There's very
Yes.
few I like in the DC.
I love the Suicide Squad.
I really hope I like this week's.
I love Wonder Woman 84. 84?
Yes.
84?
Well, 1984, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I actually like the sequel. The thing for me is I think when they first started the DCEU, they didn't have like a broad spectrum of a story, which is I think what's so important if you are going to do a cinematic universe. And I think they're kind of just throwing darts at the wall and just seeing where like it sticks at this point.
They needed an Avengers.
Which they did. They had the Justice League.
No, they
But
needed to
it was
build a
terrible.
foundation.
And it was like
before.
way too late in the game. For
Yeah,
them to
it
do
was
that.
really late in the game. And then now they said that Ben Affleck is coming back.
Well, he's
Right?
in The Flash.
Is
They
that
didn't- they
even
didn't say-
happening?
He's an
That
Aquaman.
movie, or he's an Aquaman. Sorry, you're right, Brian. So Ben Affleck is not officially coming back as the character in like a solo movie or a TV series, but was announced to be in reshoots of Aquaman 2. And then he's in The Flash, which comes out next summer, which is all slated. In this report with Man of Steel, they said that they're currently putting The Flash 2 in development. So there's writers writing that sequel or preparing to anyway.
That's also been
And so
such a
that
bummer for
that
them.
movie at the moment is all gung-ho going forward. We'll see The Flash next summer. But
That's just been such a bummer because for me, the Flash movie was what I was most looking forward to because I'm like, give me Flashpoint, give me that whole entire story where you can literally change anything you freaking want in the DCEU, literally with just this film. And then, then you had Ezra Miller doing dumb shit. And then they had, the Amber Heard stuff. And it's just a lot of unfortunate things have happened with the
well,
DCEU.
and I don't know if they said it publicly, but I could have swore that it was announced that her scenes from Aquaman 2 are being cut.
That was not an accurate reporting.
Okay.
I don't think so.
They cut a lot of her stuff out, but she's still in it.
Honestly, at this point, people will go see the movie purely because of her outside drama, and like they're not going to deny those extra ticket sales, which is gross, but yeah.
But
I mean, I'm seeing it for Jason Momoa. That's literally like.
I
yeah.
wasn't a fan of the first Aquaman.
Oh, it's my favorite DC.
I know it's movie. A lot of favorites.
My favorite. I loved it.
People hated 84, and I enjoyed it. I
think Birds of Prey might be my favorite.
That one's my favorite. Birds of Prey, followed by The Suicide Squad.
I need another like good chunk of time where there are no Star Wars things happening because I really need to just revisit all of the DCEU because I don't have any strong opinions about Henry Cavill's Superman because I'm just like.
I don't either.
Yeah, but have you seen him build a computer?
Now that I'll watch.
Was it the Superman who almost missed his audition because he was playing World of Warcraft?
Yes,
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I think if he's given the chance, because we've only seen him in the first Man of Steel, which he was obviously much younger of an actor, but also it was his first time out as the character, and then we saw him in BVS. And then we saw him in Justice League, and then the second Justice League, the Snyder Cut. We haven't really, honestly, we haven't had that much time with the character. His version of the character. His solo movie was almost 10 years ago. I think that if given the opportunity and the chance, he could be the best Superman we've seen. I think he's a perfect casting as the character. Personally, that's just my opinion. I think he fits the build, too. But they haven't really been able to give him a good story to play with. And it's nothing against people who like the movies. I wasn't the biggest fan of Batman v Superman. I'm okay with it.
I actually liked Batman v Superman.
And that's fair. And that's totally fine. But
Superman's
story in that movie, it's almost to a third degree down from Ben Affleck's Batman and Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, and then it's Superman. To me, he should be the lead or at least co-lead no matter what. He's Superman. Yeah. And so we haven't gotten a really good story with him, fluid. And then they killed him, and then he was gone, and then he came back halfway through the Snyder Cut and Justice League. And so his story is just so all over the place. I just want more time with him. I
He
want to
hasn't-
see more of him.
He hasn't sold me on Clark Kent yet. In anything.
But I don't even, honestly, like, have we even? I guess we saw Clark Kent a little bit in BVS. We haven't really seen that much Clark Kent though. Like,
I think that's the reason why I can't connect to his Superman yet, because I need to see the goofy, nerdy, like farm boy Clark Kent to be
Daily Planet Clark Kent.
Both sides of Superman. So I think it's that, and plus, I mean, they just need to get a good writer for this film.
Agreed.
They need to get comic book writers for these films.
Or at least put them as consultants, like George R.R. Martin is.
Yeah,
for
they need to do something like that. I think for WB and DC, I think with their meetings, it's all just black suits. Like it's just it's just like the corporate stuff. Like they're all in their like they need to get down to like the nitty gritty of the comic book writers and what makes these stories so memorable. Because when you brought up Batman v Superman, I forgot that movie even existed.
Yeah.
Like,
with comic book writers, they get to write in so many tiny short segments for however long they want to. So having them as consultants, yes, I think that's a good idea. But I like the idea of having them work with people who are used to writing 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
To figure out.
Well, I mean, look what happened when J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter movies.
Garbage.
Nobody.
So, I like the Harry Potter movies.
I love
the Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts. Yeah.
Those I don't.
I was just classifying it as Harry Potter. Sorry.
Yeah, she didn't write the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. She wrote the garbage other series.
She wrote Fantastic Beasts, or the second one, or the third one, or something.
All of them.
She co-wrote all of them, and they just all poo-poo. So yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thumbs up for a Man of Steel sequel. I want to see him back. It's been long enough
at this point. Why has
it's Superman? He's the greatest superhero of all time.
Yeah,
I'm in a way almost thankful.
Or the biggest, anyway, not the greatest, the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, almost like kind of glad he didn't do anything for so long, because, like, if he had been thrown into the mashup of everything that's going on and had a mediocre movie, like, then maybe we wouldn't have another chance at starting over with whatever. But I think he's great. I liked Man of Steel a lot. I think it's one of the better movies that they've put out.
I agree.
I love Brandon Routh.
Me too.
I do too.
I do like Brandon Routh. I think Superman Returns is highly underrated.
That movie came out just like at the perfect time for me, and like where I was in life, I guess, or my age, but I don't ever. But that one like hit me more as like, this is Clark Kent, this is Superman.
Yeah,
it's classic, super classic.
Yeah. But I need to go through and rewatch the DCU stuff because I'm not as familiar with all of it.
Maybe we'll do a trivia one of these days, one of these months, on some form of DCEU movies. I don't know which ones, but we could do a couple of them there. And Brian Ward, just go ahead, Jill. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like with the DCEU, there's nothing that connects all the movies, other than sometimes you'll get a cameo from another character from another movie. Other than that, there's nothing that connects them all together, and I think that's a big issue.
It's so easy to compare it to Marvel and how
I'm trying not to, but that's what they're trying to do. Like, I don't want to compare it to Marvel, but they are literally a cinematic universe, and that's what they're trying to do what Marvel did. So it's kind of impossible not to compare it. I'm trying not to, but
I want to see all these characters on screen together, but I've said for a little while that I think Warner Brothers or DC, Warner Brothers, whatever, they're at their best when they don't combine their properties. When they
each need to have solo franchises.
Not even that, but I don't even of course I want to see it, but I don't care to have, at this moment in time, I don't care to have a Justice League movie. I don't. I want the Superman movies.
It's not time for it yet. It's
no, I mean, look when before the DCU started, look what DC was doing with their properties. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy is considered the best superhero trilogy of all time, right? And
pretty
that's the
good.
type of stuff that they were doing. So I think if they stuck to that, and look what the Batman is doing. The Batman isn't technically a DCEU movie, and look how much people love that movie.
It's great.
I still haven't seen that one.
So,
You haven't seen it?
I don't have 3 hours to watch a movie, Ryan.
It's so good.
you know what? You're gonna skip one of these shows next Monday, and you're gonna watch the Batman.
How many episodes of Coven have you watched?
5?
Oh, good for you.
She's getting there.
Getting there.
Honestly,
yeah,
let's
just
just make the Harley Quinn HBO animated show a live action
That
thing.
one.
That show.
That
Because
one.
it is
That show is
so good.
So good. So good.
All right. Any final thoughts on DC, Man of Steel, anything like that before we wrap up with the Q&A? Good to
Give
go.
me a good script and Brainiac.
Do you think we'll get another CGI mustache?
That's why I said, is he growing a mustache?
Or
Yeah,
was it
Another
C-
mustache.
did they
He was
CGI
CGI'd away.
CGI a lip. He
They
CGI a lip.
removed
CGI
his mustache.
anti-mustache?
Yeah, anti-mustache. Yeah. There you go. All right, let's get into the Q&A portion. Just kind of a hangout, if you will. Kind of talking about what comes next for us. This won't take too long unless you guys have a ton of questions. But we do have one here from Jesse Swift here, Mr. Flick and Real himself. He asked, do you guys have a general outline of what a MTS-less POV will look like? Anybody have any thoughts?
Chaos.
So the same.
Pure
It's
chaos.
become just a basic talk show now, I would say, with like general pop culture nerd stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
Sounds
similar to
good.
what we're kind of doing here. We have an idea for a segment. We didn't do it tonight because there wasn't really anything that pertained to that segment for this
It was
week.
a couple weeks ago. We would have had so much stuff. to
Yeah,
It's still brewing.
We would have had options to talk about.
So you're going to see like small segments here and there, but it's kind of going to be similar. It's not going to be just movie and television related. There's going to be music because we have a couple music people on the show. There will be some other entertainment stuff going on as well that we'll probably talk about, whether it's related to film or television, who knows? But we put out a survey to our patrons about 2 weeks ago, asking about what we want to see or what they want to see for the future of our show, and a lot of people came back saying just us hanging out talking. Like that's what they enjoyed. So we've kind of planted that into the main show and just put topics around that. So that's kind of the idea of everything. So
Yeah.
Chaos.
Okay. I mean, the usual POV chaos, but just with different subjects to chaotically talk about.
fun chaos to where, and like slightly controlled chaos to where it's like
Jake's
we're
here.
not going to go on for 5-hour rants about anything.
slightly chaotic, just because I cut down a little bit of the chaos.
Jake keeps us in our corrals. Jake keeps us
Very, very difficult.
from running off too far.
Very, very difficult at times. All right, question from Brandy Parker here. I saw Q&A and had a question for the ladies before realizing it was about phase 2. What is your favorite piece of Halloween decor you have?
Let me go get it.
Mm,
Hang on.
I'm trying to think. Do I have?
I mean, it
anything
might
in my
be
house?
Baby Yoda's costume. I'm trying to think of like something that I put out every year that I'm super excited about.
Ugh.
I think of my candles. It's like a simple thing, but I have like over 100 probably now. Those battery powered
I love
Oh, I was gonna
Liquid
say
light.
Jesus.
candles.
I wish I had a bunch of those because I want a bunch of those.
Once you buy more than one pack, they'll all work off the same little remote control. So I just keep buying them and keep adding to the bookshelves, and they're I think my favorite decoration because it just sets the mood so well.
fishing wire. Wrap it around the stem and hang it.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, and I kind of want to try that.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is like, stop buying battery candles.
No. No.
You're not the boss of me.
No. This is my house too. I can buy candles I want.
You can't tell
We
me what
haven't
to
done-
do.
This one's mine. It's simple. It's Madame Leota from the Haunted Mansion. And it gets foggy and she talks.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
It probably looks even better in the dark too. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I could turn some things off, but yeah,
that's
this one's my
cool.
favorite. And I only got it for she does the whole speech though, so that's the only problem.
You're like,
But
okay, we
as you-
get it.
Yeah, so she's all foggy inside there now. But yeah, it was
Jamie
only,
Lee Curtis is going to be great. As
oh my
her.
god, I'm so excited. Leota, you need to calm down for a
I
second.
will say we also got one of these today.
So cute.
Oh my God.
Look at
Little,
him.
little blow up Baby Yoda. And
Are
like
you-
while we were putting it up, there was some people walking in our neighborhood with a little girl in a stroller, and she goes, "Baby Yoda!" And I was like, "Be my friend."
Vapion, I did see your saw comment
done
on
yet.
the survey. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. This
She's
could be
still
interesting.
talking.
We're still going. Leota. Thank
I
you.
She's like, "I will
Uh,
not be silenced."
She's done.
We don't have to do a review specifically on this, but we definitely want to do some kind of tier rankings or review shows, whatnot. But a Bud Light review episode. Eh.
Can we review
Bud Light
can we-
hard sodas go hard.
Bud Light
if you
does
have
not.
never had
Bud Light is
Bud
not.
Light hard soda and you enjoy a soda, you need to try them.
They're
They-
good. They're good.
Can we do one of those things that I've seen on TikTok where it's like people try the different really cheap beers and try to guess which one it
Which
is?
one
We
it
should
is.
do that. We
Yeah.
should do
Fun.
that.
Keystone
could do that
Light, Bud
easily.
Light,
We
Natty
could set up our
Light.
We could set up our
PBR.
cameras and do that easily. We could totally do that. That's the type of I think that's the type of stuff that we're probably going to end up doing. Maybe not on the main show, but like separate episodes or single videos.
That could be a whole happy hour on its own.
That could be a whole
Yeah.
happy hour.
Happy hour
Um,
tailgate edition.
We talked about obviously stuff with patron members, releasing stuff to them early, doing some special things for them. I know a lot of people talk about food when it comes to us, doing food related videos, maybe reviewing
Food
or
news.
just talking.
Mukbang.
Trying things for the first time, whatever it may be. We're trying to revamp our Patreon a little bit and change some things up and giving access or early access to those people who support us on a regular basis. The majority of the Patreon is going to stay pretty much the same. Watch alongs, Q&A, trivia, a few adjustments here and there. We've talked about doing trailer reactions, but not Brian and I,
Megan-
just the girls.
Megan trailer reaction for Brian.
Or Brian can do that kind of trailer reaction. Yeah. Maybe show reactions and cutting those together if we're up for it.
We're gonna do a whole
specific
segment about
episodes, stuff
RuPaul's
like
Drag
that.
Race and only RuPaul's Drag
Yeah.
Race.
Good.
Trashy
Very well
television
I have to watch
segment.
it.
Molly, okay, yeah, I've started watching Coven. You need to watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Ooh, she has a point.
Where do I
That could
start?
be-
You
that could
said
be the-
season 4?
Season 4.
Okay.
That could kind of be like a little segment is if like say Molly basically challenges Jill to watch something, Jill then challenges Molly to watch something, and you guys come back the next week after like an episode or something and talk about it.
I
or a
need
few
to watch
episodes.
Molly. I need to watch with you when you start, though. That's the rule. Because I want to watch with you.
That's
I'll
the
also
case with
probably
all of
wanna watch
these. We're going to be
with
like, but wait for me.
Wait for me, at least for the first episode. Wait for me.
Yes.
Because I want to watch. I want to watch you watch it.
Here's a fun one from Vapion, a theater candy tier list, since our Patreon tiers are based on candies.
I like it.
That would
I
be
like
hard.
it.
Is that like us ranking theater candy?
Yeah, it's
like our
basically
top
ranking
5.
theater candies. Yeah.
Hmm.
You're going to see stuff like that. So
You know what we should do is like one of those tier rankings for the candy for just all candies, but like only limit like 5
No,
to
I
each
said
one.
I was saying our tier list for any tier list that we should do. It should be called the MySpace Top 8, and we have to pick the 8 best.
Hmm.
God,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
such a
So pick just 8. But the thing is with a tier list, it has to be the full, like our decision as a group. It can't just be one person's decision. That's what a tier list is. It's not like Joe
Yeah.
gets a tier list, Molly gets a tier list. It's we have to come to the conclusion as a group.
Oh, good lord.
That's
Okay.
that's why people want us to do them, because it's a debate about what you're gonna what you're
'cause,
giving
like,
up to gain.
he's gonna fight everything that has peanut butter in it.
pretty much. Yeah.
So
Like that, but that's the point of a tier list is people want to see the heated discussions going on of trying to figure out what goes where on just one tier ranking list.
I'm watching the video that Haskell sent. Haskell, is that just a large taco?
What?
He tweeted
Hold on, let me pull it up
He
on
and
Twitter. I
me.
can pull it up.
and it said, if Taco Bell sold these, would and how many would you all order? And I think it's just a large taco.
I think Twitter broke.
Do you guys see that? Like, was he like a crazy Republican or reporter?
Oh, how he went to Taco Bell for lunch and spent $28.
$28.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Taco Bell.
I think the most I've ever spent is maybe like 16.
I just spent 16 at Taco Bell, but
yeah,
that was 2 tacos and 2 burritos. So I don't know what else.
Oh, this is
lunch.
Brandy has a good point. Actually, we can each bring our top 8 into the tier list.
Thank you, Brandy.
We rank all of those. So that would be what, 32 total?
Well, I'm sure, I guarantee we're gonna cross like at least half of them.
Yeah, but there's a possibility of 32 total. So,
or we'll bring in 8 each, and then from there we do a top 5.
So we're calling it a MySpace top 8.
And then consensus, like we can each bring 8, and then we'll do a general consensus of what the top 8 or the top 5 is. I just think the MySpace top 8 is a funny title.
Well, then why don't we each bring like our top 5, and then we come up with a top 8?
Okay.
So there's 20 total picks, but we come up with the top 8. That's what we can do.
I dig.
I like that. I just looked up our last Taco Bell order that we Uber Eats to the house, and between me and Alex, $28. Not including like the delivery fee and all that. So I don't know what he was making.
Lots of quesadillas.
God, that sounds good.
Brian, Chuck is still challenging you at single hand trivia.
This is coming from the man that just walked in here after like 4 months, so I don't want to hear it.
He's busy. He was at a con. He had a booth. He's a busy man.
I know. I liked all your Instagram posts and everything.
It's busy. Busy.
We should do again. Remember when we did had the girls try to name the teams,
we'll definitely do that
teams, and then you guys will have to do one.
Yeah,
for us
you girls do it for us.
Beauty products.
I was gonna say we'll do What do you use this for?
God.
That could be interesting.
Categories is always a fun one when we're just like name different brands of makeup.
I'm doing Brian will probably get a lot of them, but for Jake, I'm doing RuPaul's Drag Race Queens, and I'm gonna have to say name them.
I would be hit or miss.
Name them.
I wouldn't know. I'd come up with some funky names, that's for sure.
Perfect.
Very funky.
I'll use it as my own drag name.
Gordon has a question for us, and he asked, "What are your thoughts on Werewolf by Night?"
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Joe, it's fantastic.
I'm going to keep my thoughts on it just because we're talking about it tomorrow on Apocalypse, so I'm not going to say too much.
Ooh, tune into Apocalypse.
I liked it.
Shameless plug.
I thought it was going to connect more with like other Marvel stuff that I already knew about, but by the end of it, I was kind of glad that it didn't. Like, I liked that it felt like its own standalone kind of story.
It's cool because you can like watch it like every year. It doesn't it's not like.
I love the big monster guy. What's his name?
Man thing. No, it's Ted.
Ted. Yeah, Ted. I was like his actual name.
Well, just spoiled it for Jill.
Ted.
It's in the trailer. Oh, not the name, but whatever.
Yeah.
Ted. I like the name Ted.
That's fine. Any final thoughts, guys?
Yeah. What's everyone's? What is it? Stripper name? Where it's the like
your street that you were grew up on and your middle name.
Mm-hmm.
It's your middle name first and then your street name.
Middle name and then the street.
So mine is Kate Birchwood.
Oh, mine's the middle name? John Milbridge.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one.
I like that one. Mine's too long. Mine's Marie Vista Bonita.
Bonita.
Good. That is so good.
It's beautiful view, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
mine's boring. It's Jacob Nyack. It's not that exciting.
Sounds like
Maddie's is John Wood.
Hey.
Oh my God. Perfect.
Edward Marwinit from Billy.
Marwinette.
Christopher First from Andy.
I love that.
Jill, yours
good
is
one.
hard to beat.
Oh, really? I
Albert
thought mine was
Hartrank?
garbage.
Vista Bonita? That's
Jill, yours
great.
is the best, I think. I think yours is by
Oh,
far the best.
yeah, Marie Vista Bonita. Yeah.
Bone.
Edward Hubbard from Brian Ward.
Edward Hubbard. That sounds like an old man.
James Teachers.
Oh,
Now I wanna
Teachers
know-
was your street name?
David Maryland.
Maryland.
Michael Mansfield.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like an
like a
actor.
serial killer.
It does sound like a serial killer.
No, you gotta throw a middle name in there if it's a serial killer. You gotta have two. You gotta have a middle name. All serial killers have a middle name.
I wonder what Alex and Sean's would be.
Sean's. What's
Oh,
street?
Alex's is Stephen Harbins, I think.
I don't remember what street
So
his parents
funny.
live on.
I
Such a
love
white
it.
name.
White name.
Never been a whiter name. Except for maybe Michael Wood.
Those are good. Those are good ones. We have
Or John Wood, yeah.
John.
we have 4
Wood.
good ones.
All right. To close out the show, I have one request from each of you. I need you to show your AIM.
Oh,
screen
God.
name.
No,
Oh, I forgot
mine
about
is
this.
inappropriate.
We did it on our patron call before the show, and I am asking everyone to do it now. What is everyone's screen name for AOL Messenger? Origin of Fire. Captain Jack Sparrow rules.
Look,
With
I don't
the
have-
Z.
you can never be as cool as this.
Nah.
Wait, where's my whiteword? I got it. Mine's
Fire
mine's
with
not
a
exciting.
Y.
I
She
don't
wrote
have
Fire
mine.
with a Y before Fire Festival was cool, guys. Like,
Mine was
X's.
Dirt
This
Biker
is-
JBB.
this is
You're
the
fucking
correct.
baby.
This is the correct response.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. I said this earlier, but this
Wow.
this was based off of a character that I made for back in the day when AOL chat rooms were a thing. It was like an AOL fantasy role-playing chat room.
I was up in
character.
those Harry Potter role playing chat rooms all day long.
Mhm.
Good times.
All right, so just for our audio listeners, Jill was Captain J Sparrow Rules. Molly was Origin of Fire X. I was Dirt Biker JBB, and Brian. Come on, Brian.
Do it. Do
Mine
it.
was before
it.
it was not okay to say this because it's my initials. My initials is BJ, so I went BJ soccer goalie
Hey.
because that's the position I played in soccer. And,
Brian wins.
Yeah.
Brian wins.
I love it.
It's a
Artie
position,
Films-
all right.
yeah, handing out BJs to all the soccer goalies.
Right.
RD AOL is basically today's Gmail.
Oh my
It's America
God.
Back in the
Online?
day. Yeah, it's back in the day. It was an instant messaging system that you
You
could
guys,
live chat with someone.
They had MSN. We had AOL.
They did have MSN. You're right. You're
Mhm.
right. You're right. Yeah. So Ed Haskell 72 and Hugs 72.
Hugs.
Chuck was Spy Hunter 96. That fits so much. Vapion was anti-sexy. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, look, we're gonna be rolling out the new version of POV very slowly into the next few weeks, next couple months. Patrons will definitely see a change here very soon. This is what the show is going to be like going forward. Mondays at 6 o'clock right here on the channel. All kinds of fun topics, games, segments. You're going to see a lot of it going forward. And we're super happy that all of you are with us, joining us, commenting along in the chat. We appreciate that you guys are sticking with us past everything Schmoedown. We love having you guys, so we appreciate it. And for anyone that is interested in the Patreon, our next big patron get-together is next Sunday. We are doing spooky season trivia, essentially is what we can call it. It is the 3 OGs, the 3 OG horror films of Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th, all originals. That is what the trivia topics are on. That'll be next Sunday. We hope to see everyone in there. If you're interested, go check it out. Just for a couple bucks a month, you can join in on movie nights, Q&As, trivia, watch-alongs, all that type of stuff. We're very excited to be having our crew over there and have anyone new who wants to join us. So check that out. The Q&A will also be coming out later this week. We apologize for the slight delay on that one, but it will be coming this week. And we'll finish with some quick plugs from everybody. Jill, start us off. Where can everyone find you online?
You can find me Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's, Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me. Sean is working on a project. It hasn't been announced officially yet. We haven't gotten a date down, but I will be on there with that. And this Friday, happy hour, the Halloween edition, coming at ya. Pew pew pew. That'll be this Friday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m.
Sure.
6.
TBD.
I always
say
have to
TBD.
add 3 hours, so I'm like, what?
TBD.
What?
That's
Yeah.
9 your time. TBD. I'm off that day, so we can do it a little bit earlier.
There you go.
I'll
So
be here all day.
yeah. So we will be doing happy hour. I think we're gonna be in costumes. I think we're doing a costume contest. We're gonna talk about the details, but
We'll figure it out.
spooky drinks, spooky attire, spooky time. Yeah, Friday. TBD on the time. Look at our Twitter. We'll be there.
Brian.
Be of Alcino on Twitter and Instagram, and Apocalypse Movies tomorrow. No Marvel Rewind anymore. An Andor. Mandalorian Club. Wednesdays. Right?
Correct.
Yeah, Wednesdays. So
Correct.
yeah.
And Molly.
At Molly Damon on Twitter and at Star Wars Explained on YouTube. We're covering lots of Andor stuff. So check our Andor after show out. It's no ifs and or buts.
So brilliant.
Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern.
So good. So good. At Qui-Gon Jake on Twitter and Instagram. 2 N's because someone else took it before I did. Apocalypse Movies with Brian's, whatever. And yeah, check out the Patreon, everybody. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you aboard and joining us each and every week for all kinds of fun things. And then here on Mondays. So we appreciate everybody who's been stopping by, hanging out with us. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.